everyone. This is Alicia, Liz, and Ann, and we are Servant Decoded. And we're excited to drop this theory today. I just want to make note before you start listening or watching that this is a segment from the podcast, videocast that we did for the episode of Camp. But it was a long one, so I wanted to put this out in a segment. So this little segment was a theory that I had after watching Camp. That I actually feel was strengthened by the most recent episode, and I'm sure we'll talk about that in our next episode video and podcast. But I just wanted to point that out so you knew what the perspective of this one was and why some of the things that you may have seen in Donut aren't talked about here. Also, I talk a lot about the pink water bottle being Leanne's and then her forcing it on Dorothy, which after rewatching I see was not the case. However, in spite of that, I still feel like the theory about what we discuss is still maybe on track to being right. So we realized that one was a little bit of a mistake on a technicality. But in general, we're still really excited about this theory and excited to share it with you. So hope you enjoy. Let's get to it.
So back when we watched, what was the episode where we saw the attic?
Ring, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ring.
All right. So one of the things I noticed throughout the episode, okay, I'm pretty sure when the episode begins, Leanne has the pink water bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she's using it and she's drinking out of it. And then I remember when we got to the scene where they were sitting in the living room and we were talking about the fact that it didn't look like Dorothy was breastfeeding, which I made my sister watch that scene because I wanted her, like sometimes actually one of the things I've been doing is I'll like show her something just blind. Like I won't give her any information. And then I'll ask her, a question because I want to see like with zero perspective, what did she see? I said, what do you think? Do you think it looks like she's breastfeeding? She's like, no, I don't think it looks like she's breastfeeding. She goes, the positioning isn't right. He's too off to the side. She goes, there could potentially be like, she goes, what it would be like, so, because I was talking about the bra.
They have things that
right?
open.
And it would just open. Yeah, that's what she says. So you could very feasibly not notice. She goes, but for me, it's more about like the positioning of his head. It just doesn't look like where he's positioned that, now, but okay. So like, maybe there's still some ambiguity there. But my point is that in that scene, Leanne hands Dorothy that water bottle. And she's like, you're not drinking enough water, drink more. Here, drink this. We kind of like pushes it upon her. And she's like, drink it now. And Dorothy relents. And then I noticed later at the very end, when they were sitting by the crib, when it was Sean and Dorothy was sitting there and she had that specific water bottle in her hand that she was drinking on. Leanne and the house are inextricably connected, right?
Right.
She goes down to that basement and she seems to be happy about it and it's bubbling. So initially, when I first started thinking about it, I just started with the water bottle. Why is she holding this water bottle? Is the water that Dee is drinking important? Could Leanne be poisoning Dorothy with the dirty house water? Could the water be a conduit? Could Leanne be blessing the water? I should go back and track the bottle through the season. And then skip over here. And we've been talking about how Sean's always staring in that basement. And it began at the very beginning. And my first theory on that was that Jericho was buried underneath there and that's where he is. I think that still might be true potentially. I don't know. But so I wrote that down again. Could Jericho's body be down there? Is that how Leanne would be able to reanimate him? Or is his soul in there? Or because I thought we really need to discuss like Jericho and like, what is he? Like, what's his presence in physical form and whatever? Because I thought it was weird that they were showing us that scene again in the recap. What does that have to do with anything? You know what I mean?
They've been doing that a lot recently. Though.
Yeah.
What scene was it in the recap?
They showed the water bottle scene. They showed the scene where Leanne's telling Dorothy to drink this water in the recap. Okay. Yeah. And so I was like, where are they showing this to us? That's, and that's what sort of like started me going, well, maybe I was not wrong about the water bottle or the water in the bottle. Like maybe I was onto something there when I was thinking that. And that's what made me go back and revisit it.
Right. On the surface, it looks like they're just trying to show the progression of Leanne taking more control over Dorothy and Jericho. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Okay. So then I start, we go into the Sean thing. Okay. So the Sean commercial, and I wrote down like key sentences. I have parents who didn't care. I was homeless by 17. Okay, both of those things could be true of Leanne. Doesn't matter. Not really my point, but he said cooking saved me, which I thought was interesting. Just how it parallels maybe
I
how
wrote that down too. Yeah.
the cult saved Leanne, or maybe Sean was a cult member, all of those questions. Okay. And then he says, it taught me how to treat myself and taught me how to treat others. I thought that was really, interesting in the way it paralleled. Then he says, what matters is who you're feeding today.
Ooh.
So I thought, Dorothy Leanne's making Dorothy drink this water bottle. They literally just show us that. And then we open, and one of the opening lines is, what matters is who you're feeding today. And I thought, I wonder if this could tie into the water bottle. All of his food is rooted in that house, from the water, like that he's, with the plants, and he's got the greenhouse and all of that stuff. Everything that he's feeding his family is coming through this house, whether it's sitting in that basement or whether it's being watered with water that's on the property, and he's turning it into food and feeding his family with it.
Instead of farm to table, it's house to table.
Right. And then, and we've also been talking about like how we even joke on our last one about him staring at that hole and the bubbles, and then Leanne staring at the hole and at the bubbles. And so I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if it was potentially Jericho's burial site? But what it also made me think about is that water down there is some kind of life force. And then it made me think of Lost, and how at the root of the island, where all of the darkness and the light was being fought over, was that water.
Right.
And then I just thought about how the whole series in general, and Ashana loves Lost, and I just thought that's really similar to Lost. I wonder if that's part of what's going on.
Well, and I like the idea to take another step with that, extrapolating on that. What if, we've talked about questions of, is Dorothy real? Like, she'll say, like, I feel like I'm not being heard or seen. Or when you first started talking about the water bottle, I wondered if Leanne is drugging them. You know how Uncle George had the briefcase of herbs and da-da-da?
Yeah.
And Braids says, we have something new to show you. Wondering if, like, doll baby, if there's some sort of hallucinogenic type thing going on.
Like that. Yeah.
And I'm not married to it. I'm not going to die on a hill
No, but I
about it.
like it because I think that, like, for the people, or for the sake of this could be real and maybe not supernatural side of it, I think that's a very clear possibility. Yeah. Like, and I was maybe the water wasn't a deal before. Maybe she's putting, maybe supernaturally side of things, maybe she's putting some kind of spell on the water. Maybe she's giving that, or the life force of the water and her, the house and her are playing off of each other, or she's poisoning them, right? Like, it's something simple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The way the hand caressed the banister at the very, the last shot of the episode seemed to be a very clear indication or reiteration of Leanne and the house are connected.
Yeah.
I like it.
There you go. There's my theory.
Thank you for watching and for listening in. Please don't forget to subscribe if you like what you're seeing and hearing, and ring that bell so you can get notifications. And we will be back soon with our full extended video of our camp discussion, as well as more smaller videos. We'll see you guys again soon.